We've all seen these people, destitute, delusional, muttering to themselves. For the most part, we just walk away and keep going. But every time I pass one of these people, I think, that could be my mother. My sister Tina and I call Mom regularly to keep tabs, but there always comes the day when she doesn't pick up the phone. We call the various agencies and social workers, trying to find her. Once again, it's come to a crisis, and I'm back in Chicago to see our mother, Millie. She's on a psych ward, and I'm worried sick. She's served by the public health system, and because of laws concerning a patient's confidentiality rights, no one tells us anything. We have no right to information about our own mother.
So, Clarice's money, just, I don't want to get these ladies. If you get back to her, just Clarice can give it to David.
After years and years of this, I'm angry and fed up. My frustration with the system and confusion about Mom's illness has fueled my need to tell this story. Elgin Mental Health Center, once known as the Northern Illinois Hospital for the Insane. It's famous in these parts as the end of the line for the severely mentally ill. My mother hates it. It makes her feel like she's in jail, and she can't figure out what she did to get here.
There's something wrong with me. I've been working it over and over at Elgin. Now, I'm here, I'm in Elgin because I had, I lost all my money. And then I didn't even replace it. I know that's why I'm there. Because I'm down to my last penny. And there is something wrong with a person, whether they're a woman or not, to just go lose all her money and spend all her mother's money. Whether I fit into that category that mentally ill people fit into or not, I'm bankrupt. And there's something wrong with me.
One of the most confounding aspects of Mom's illness is that she has no insight about it, no awareness that she has it. So telling Mom she's sick sounds as crazy to her as telling her I'm not her daughter. She doesn't understand why over the last 20 years, she's been in and out of 17 psych wards, 8 apartments, 3 boarding houses, and countless motels. She hasn't been able to hold a job in 30 years. She's alienated her family and lost touch with every friend she's ever had. When she's released, we'll have to find her yet another place to live. After 2 months at Elgin, she's stabilized on her meds, and it seems like she can take care of herself. But I know she can't.
Do you agree with this diagnosis of paranoid schizophrenia?
I know what paranoia is, yes, but schizophrenia, no. I never understood that in 7 years of medical school. I could never get a grasp on that.
I think the most important thing to understand God is to understand forgiveness. And once I understood her disease as a young teenager and as a young adult, then I was able to forgive her for her atrocities against you and I. What I had a difficult time with was forgiving my father, who was the sane person, from walking away and not ever coming back to help us.
I try to conduct myself in a manner that I thought I had a rational ex-wife who cherished her children, which obviously she had not. and my children were placed basically in a prison that I may subconsciously been aware of, but I didn't have either the mental, physical, or financial strength to fight it.
Everyone had their reasons for not getting involved with Millie. But how could they have been in such denial? Because like most people, they didn't know anything about mental illness. Shame and ignorance causes families, friends, and neighbors to turn a blind eye to destructive behavior, hoping it will magically go away with time. I swing between a profound sense of betrayal at my family's inability to help us, and empathy for their need to look away. When she was released from Elgin, Mom was moved to the supervised apartment, which seemed like the best place in the system for her. Staff would administer meds, help her get a job, and teach her life skills so she might live on her own again. As her new guardians, we hoped we could finally help Mom pull her life together.
Well, especially when you didn't have a phone, we didn't know how you were doing. We couldn't get in touch with you. We didn't know. We don't want to get in that situation again.
So it won't happen again.
I still want to leave a note here. Mildred's caseworker doesn't speak to us weekly regarding Mildred, and we need to be informed on how Mildred is doing.
Well, I see more of her than I'd like to, all of them. And the lady I'm living with, you know, I go in my own room and close the door. So they're all strangers. I'm getting kind of old to be so flexible.
Why are you responsible for picking up the drugs yourself?
We just are. And for taking them ourselves, too, pretty soon.
Oh, yeah?
Or eventually. Dwayne was asking, you know, why can't you take them yourself?
So they don't want to be responsible for administering them anymore?
Nope, this way.
Well, Dwayne didn't.
Who is doing?
He's an overnight.
Oh, okay.
I was concerned about Mom having the responsibility of dealing with her meds on her own. I mean, from her perspective, she doesn't believe she's ill, so why should she need to take medication?
Hi. My prescriptions that I called in. Mildred Smiley.
Okay.
Clonazepam is not due until 12/12. While you're here, let me try Zolon.
After a 2-week standoff, the doctor says Mom's his most defiant patient. We had to get her to sign a consent form to receive an injection of Prolixin, an antipsychotic. This was our only hope for getting her back on track.
Well, I told you about that apartment that was possibly available in Minnesota. I have a paper here. If you could sign it regarding that, it would be great.
I can't. This light is terrible.
Admitting there. That way you can go into the apartment with me. It's going to be awesome.
Right.
Because that's what Charles and they want. They want their grandmas.
I can't stay in home. I have too many problems.
Oh, I know. I know. How old are you, Millie?
58.
Oh, you're a baby. You're a baby.
I can't imagine lying like that, though, Tina. It's so deeply deceitful. I am not capable of lying that badly to her. I mean, she signed a paper that was completely false to her. I mean, you had her sign something that you thought was her ticket to freedom, and...
Well, it is her ticket to freedom. She doesn't realize that in order for her to have the life she wants, she has to be medicated to get her brain straight. And if I have to lie to her to get that,
But
then
Tina, she thinks she's moving to Minnesota in 3 weeks.
I'll tell her that there's a delay. Boys are in camp. Jeff is real busy. One of the doctors quit.
Mom was given the injection, but I hated that it was our betrayal that got her on the road to recovery. She believes so strongly in her version of reality that it forces me to ask myself whether I have the right to intervene in her life. The county dumped her in this nursing home because it's the only place in the system that has a bed for her. Problem is, she's been assigned an absentee psychiatrist who's clueless about her history, the latest in a long line of nameless, faceless doctors to offer a panacea for her condition. When we were told Mom passed her health assessment, I was hugely relieved. For the first time in years, I felt a sense of promise for the possibilities ahead. Now she's going to move into the group home. It's her 47th home in 20 years.
Well, we're going to miss her, aren't we? Yes. Okay, good luck to you. What time are you going?
You take care of yourself.
Okay.
Hello?
I came back 6 months later, and things seemed really different.
Hello? Hi.
Hey, hi, nice to see you. Hi.
Too.
This is the best situation you've been in a long time.
It is. I have a job. This is beautiful.
You put your...
We think alike. Open yours. I love work. It's normal people. The bus is normal people. You're normal people. Your family and friends are normal people. I can hardly stand it.
Mom's holding down her first job in nearly 30 years. She's a dishwasher at a sandwich shop.
Tell me about how you feel about having this job.
It's something to look forward to when I get up in the morning. And I want to have a savings account and be able to pay for my funeral. And leave you something when I go. I'm just too materialistic to be totally broke. Secondly, I'm very enthusiastic about the food. It's delicious food. It's nourishing. It's seductive. It's gourmet fast food. I'm anxious to get there in the morning, and I'm anxious to go home at night.
Well, that's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, and I look forward to weekends, and then I look forward to Monday, too.
Well, that's healthy.
Yeah, I hope so.
When she first came in, she was a lot sicker than she is now. I think the medication has really been working a lot better for her. A lot of the goals that she had that she wasn't doing so good on when she first started, she's getting like 100% now.
Really?
Now we have to find new goals for her.
Really? Right.
Finally, she's on the correct medication, and taking it twice a day is a group home requirement.
What do we got there?
I've spent my life trying to figure out why this is the mother I was given. Wanting answers, some justification for the pain and loss we've all been through. Along the way, I've gained great admiration for Millie, for her resilient spirit. And instead of being afraid of who I come from, I'm finding my way of honoring it. I don't hide my past anymore, or my mother's illness. And finally, I've found some peace in the fact that ultimately, for some things, there are no answers.